Hey everybody, Steve Borey here from the Jackpot Gents, and I am one of the Jackpot Gents along with my son, Matt Borey.
How's it going, everybody? And today we are speaking with Craig Shacklett, the co-founder and CEO of UrComp.com, which is a really cool website where you can sort of you send them your offers from one casino that you play at, and they can get you offers for cruises or at other casinos. How are we doing, Craig?
Hey, we're doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here with you.
Yes, of course. So just to start, can you give a brief overview of UrComp and its mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So really the overall goal of UrComp is to create a marketplace for casino offers. So players are no longer trapped or siloed in the places that they've played before. Because really our background is I worked in casino marketing with one of the big, one of the massive operators that are still around. And what I was doing every day was like looking at Excel spreadsheets and coming up with or helping create the offers where it's, hey, if somebody's worth $50 a day, they're going to get this. If somebody's worth $100 a day, they're getting this. If all the way up to $10,000 a day, they were getting at the time like a promo chip for $20,000 to come in, crazy stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And so, but what's crazy is that these players that are massive, that are casinos willing to offer them $20,000, they wanted to go to another casino where they had never played before. They couldn't get anything. They have to walk in, they have to book their room retail and hope a host notices them to get comped on the back end. And it really creates inefficiencies in the market. So our goal is to make it an efficient market and let players sign up, qualify themselves with us, with UrComp, and then they can get offers at all the casinos that we partner with, which is a growing list.
All right. Well, how does it work? So, if someone likes to go to casinos and they're a rated player at one casino, and they come to you and say, "Well, what can you do for me, Craig?" How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So what we do is it's a couple step process. First step, it's super easy. We've got it probably takes about 5 minutes to sign up. First, you say where you play and then what your tier status is. And then we ask some questions about kind of how much you typically bring to the casino, what's your average bet, what games do you like to play. So that's the first step, is kind of self-volunteered information. And then the second step is uploading pictures of the offers that you already received. And that's really kind of the objective piece of evidence we have that we can show to our other casino partners. Like, hey, look, Steve said all this, and they may say, well, anybody could say that they're a huge player, but then the offers should agree with it. We also can speak to casino hosts. We do that quite a bit. We've got a whole team here that, let's say you don't have offers, you throw them away as soon as you get them, but you're a big enough player that you have a host assigned to you. Our team could talk to your host and get ratings that way. But I'd say the vast majority of our players sign up and they upload pictures of their offers, and that's how we unlock new offers for them.
Hey, question for you here. Now, when you started out, did you start out working with land-based casinos? Because I think of you primarily as cruise ship casinos, but I didn't know if did you start out that way, or was I mistaken in thinking that you were primarily cruise ship casinos and you do it also with the land-based casinos?
Yeah, it's a great question. We started, actually, the idea really came when I worked on a cruise ship. And that's where I saw before every cruise, when I started, we were doing like 12-day cruises. And before every cruise, I'd get a list of here's 20 players, their name, and what cabin type they're in. And it all made sense because I'd worked at that, the previous job was sending out the offer. So I'm like, okay, this person got a suite offer. He must be a real big player. This person's staying in an inside cabin. But then every cruise we get 20 players that were sailing comped, and then we get 20 players that were gambling just as much as them, but had to pay full price for their cruise. So the idea originally came from the cruise casinos, but when we started with land-based casinos. A lot of the cruises, kind of a barrier to entry is they want to know that you're licensed in different land-based jurisdictions, and that cruises are a lot more expensive than a hotel room in Vegas. So we had to kind of prove ourselves by starting out with land-based casinos. And then after a year or two with really work on land-based casinos, not sending a lot of business, but at least getting some reps in, we were able to branch in the cruise industry. Our first big partner was MSC Cruises, because they're the #1 cruise line in Europe. I think they're number one in South America, but they were new to the US and they have big ships. And so they're coming and they were like, hey, we got a lot of rooms to fill. And we kind of pitched them our idea and they went for it. And that's really how we kind of launched with the cruise industry. So we became the number one booking source, as we went from MSC to different cruise lines that we work with now. We were the number one casino booking source in the cruise industry. But when the pandemic hit, all of our cruise partners shut down. And so that was kind of a wake-up call that we better diversify a little more. And so we have a growing list of land-based operators that we work with. Some of them are more tailored to higher end players, where it's not like anybody that signs up will see offers at the Wynn or the Venetian just because they're the Wynn and Venetian. They limit it. But then we are working again, like we're really trying to build our portfolio of having more nice casinos around the country that everyday players that are already getting a comp at their local casino, hotel stay, can get comps at these as well.
So let me ask you, how do you determine which casinos to partner with and offer all these trips for? Do you have like a criteria on your end of what you need to see from casinos before you'll partner with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we want to make it a good deal for the casino as well. And we don't want to partner with ones where we're like, I don't think anybody's going to want to go here, right? So if it's Joe's Truck Stop Casino, it's got 5 slot machines and a RV hookup, then maybe there is a market for that, but we'd feel a lot better about a casino on the coast of just somewhere random that people wouldn't think to go to, but we look at it, it's got a nice hotel, it's got some kind of amenities that are nearby that would draw somebody regionally or nationally that just wants to try somewhere new. So that's really it. It's got to have a hotel, and there's got to be some kind of draw other than the gambling that we can use to sell to our players.
So I was going to say, we sort of already touched on it, but so that's really the process for how people can qualify for free cruises or free casino trips, is they just sign up, make the account, answer the questions, and then just upload the offers that they have, and then they're ready to go. How, after they upload all that stuff, how long should they expect before they can start using your services?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, we've got a great story about somebody. They're on a cruise, and somebody in the casino was told them about UrComp, and so they called our team. They called in from Aruba. They were stopped halfway through the cruise, and they're like, "I just heard about this. I'm dying to book a cruise on, let's say, a celebrity. They wanted to go on celebrity, so they upload pictures of their offers when they're in Aruba. They were like, okay, go online, see what you qualify for. They picked one, and then by the time they were in their next stop, they were able to make payment and get booked on that other cruise. So if you have everything, if I'm talking to players, if they sign up and they've got their offers ready and they fill it all out, and we've had 24-hour turnaround times where they are booked on the next line. Sometimes if we're in a busy season, we've got a ton of offers that have been uploaded and our team's working through verifying those. It could take a couple of days, but generally we try to get people comped and qualified once they've uploaded offers within a couple of days. Now, it does make it's quicker if, let's say, you want to take a cruise and you already have cruise offers with a different line. That can be quicker than you want to take a cruise, but all you have are Las Vegas offers. That takes a little bit more, because then we say, well, hey, do you have a host we can talk to? Then there's just a little bit more qualification. But even then, it's a really quick process, and we try and make it as painless as possible for players.
Now, you had said there that they had to make payments. So, because I know if people watching this video aren't familiar, a lot of times my dad and I both get offers for free cruises from the land-based casinos, and it's a free cruise, but you still have to pay the port fees. Is that it's the same way with you guys, or is that how it works?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, because people unfamiliar with the cruise industry are like, wait, I thought this was comp. And it's standard practice across all the cruise lines, really, that when you're sailing comp, you still pay the taxes and port fees. And what those tax and port fees are what the cruise line pays the government of the Bahamas for the right to dock in their port. And so the longer the cruise generally, or the more stops in the cruise, generally the more tax and port fees there are. But it's usually between $100 and $200 depending on the cruise. So it's not
Oh yeah,
substantial.
it's very negligible from what I've done. I've gone on, I think I went on a 7-day cruise with like for like I think it was $150 or something, $200. So they're definitely
Yeah.
worth it. Don't get freaked out thinking you're going to pay a bunch of fees. They're nominal compared to what you would pay for, because even if you're paying for the cruise, you have to pay the advertised price, and then you got to pay those same exact fees on top of it. So
Yep.
mhm.
Now you offer this program for slot players and table game players?
Absolutely. Yes, and I mean, you know this, you've made some amazing videos on explaining theoretical and all that. So sometimes it can feel like it's easier for slot players to qualify for better comps because they generate more theoretical or more points than table players. But yeah, absolutely. We've got a bunch of table players, a bunch of slot players. So whatever game you like, we can generally get you comped.
All right. Well, let's for the average player who's watching this and they don't know whether or not they would qualify for one of these programs. What would you say is a good, if you're a $25 a hand blackjack player, do you think you qualify, and what kind of action would you need on a slot machine play to qualify, you think? Average ballpark.
Yeah, that's another great question, and it depends. And I say that because like sometimes, let's say you want to do Alaska in peak of summer, which is one of the most in-demand sailings in the cruise industry every year. That is going to take a big player, right? That may be somebody that's committing to bringing $25,000 on a trip, and I'm not saying that is what it takes, but it's a much higher level player. Whereas in we've got some offers right now that $25 blackjack table could qualify, blackjack player could qualify for a comp cruise. The ones that have the lower criteria are generally shorter notice, or maybe a ship just moved. In the cruise industry, it's crazy because there's these massive things that are the size of a huge casino in Vegas, but they're moving, right? And sometimes something comes up and like they have to shift from, we're leaving from Miami and now we're leaving from a different port, and all of a sudden, like all these reservations we had, they're all gone, and we have to fill the ship again on short notice. And when those things come up, then the criteria really drops. So I would say like, yeah, I mean, the short answer is like, it really depends. And like, there's offers for every player, but the lower end, it may be more short notice. But if you are getting comp cruise offers already on a cruise line you've been with, you're probably in good shape. If you play at a land-based casino and you get invited to those cruise certificate events, because a lot of the bigger casinos have those, then you're probably in good shape.
So is there like, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wanted to explain my experience with casino cruises, because my wife and I, we're platinum level on NCL, but we had always paid for our cruises on NCL. And then I played at one of the local casinos. We're here down in South Florida, and I got 2 free casino offers. One was on Celebrity and one was on Royal Caribbean, which is owned by the same company. So for my play in the casino at the local casino, they gave me a free 7-day cruise. I had to pay the port taxes, whatever. There was probably an inside cabin, which sometimes we like inside cabins because they're nice and comfy. It's like being a little cave there. It's cozy. But if you're going to Alaska, you want to have an outside cabin, so you pay for the upgrade fee. But I had always, because I would consider myself a thrifty gambler, someone who likes to get the most value for their money when they play. And I've always heard that casinos on cruise ships are tight. And based on our experience going in and looking at the pay tables on the video poker machines, you could see that they were tighter than what you would find in a casino, even in my own local casino here in South Florida. So I never played, and I said, well, we're on the ship, it's free, let's play and see what happens. So all of a sudden I started getting these. It didn't take that much play, and I started getting more offers to go back, and it was free again for a free cruise. So I sort of got into this, and now we go on. We like Celebrity. We've gone like 6 Celebrity cruises, and they've all been free. Sometimes we pay a fee to upgrade to a balcony, and sometimes it's a balcony cabin. But I think that and one of the reasons like Celebrity, it's the casino's non-smoking. If you want to drink, the drinks are free. And in a lot of casinos, you have to qualify to a certain level before you can get free drinks in the casino. On Celebrity, it's free. So we've done the same similar in Royal Caribbean. You have to pay for drinks in Royal Caribbean once you reach a certain level. But we found that it's a good value. We're going to go there. We're going to gamble anyway. So you get a slightly lesser return on the machines, but you're getting a free cruise. So you're starting off like $2,000 a head. So it's hard to beat that. But for the average person, so now that I've been dealing with these different cruise lines, and I deal directly with the cruise line, I could see how it would be beneficial for someone who's interested in doing this to start with a company like you, where you do all the legwork and you find out what offers they would qualify for, rather than being a gambler trying to go to all these different cruise lines on their own to figure this out. It's a much simpler process to go through someone like you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and make sure to sign up with promo code GENTS, because we've got a special offer. Sign up for promo code GENTS. We've got a PDF we created, how to maximize your comps. And so if you sign up with Gents, we'll send that to you. So definitely do that. And
oh, there you go.
And I want to going back to what you said about the machines. I think there is a reputation that, the slots are tighter on the ship, but a lot of the folks that work at the cruise lines now, they came over from Vegas casinos. Like, the cruise lines recognize that this is a big revenue generator for them. They want to be world class. And I've talked to a lot of them, and they say that they know when they're on the cruise ship, they've got 7 days with the player. Or, I mean, it could be 5, could be longer. But so they're not as tight as they would used to be. They're definitely looser than on the Las Vegas Strip. And then it's debatable about, depending on your local tribal casino or wherever you play. But the cruise lines want the players to have a good time. They're not going to just try to rip their head off in 2 days. They want them to be able to stretch their money out. So obviously it's a casino, the edge is still with the house, but it's, I think it used to be really bad, but now I think most people that play at both would say, they get as much run on the onboard casinos as at land. It may be different. Like you said, if you're playing video poker, maybe the pay tables are different, but I think the slot machines are comparable.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, which I don't even know if there's going to be an easy answer to this, but like, is there, say that like, if somebody plays at their local casino and like, if you play a certain amount, you're going to get offers for like $25 in free play. You play more, you'll get offers for like $50 in free play. Would you say is there like a general like rule of thumb where like if players are getting like $50 free play offers, they'll for sure get a cruise with you guys, or it's still just it depends on the situation?
Yeah, I'd say it still depends. I mean, if you're
Everybody wants. I know everybody wants an easy answer. I just don't know if there's always an easy answer. But I figured I'd ask anyways.
No, I appreciate you asking. It's a fair question. I mean, I think the 100 free play is probably a good mark, but there's some jurisdictions where free play gets taxed at a crazy amount. Like if the casino's giving out free play, they have to pay a ton of tax on it. So you may be living in one of those states, and so they don't give out free play as readily. So, but I would say, if you have a casino host, that is probably a good bet that you'd be able to qualify for a free cruise. Because across the country, I mean, it may vary a little bit, but it's pretty consistent, like at what level player would be assigned to host. So I'd say if you're a host level player, you're probably going to be able to get a free cruise. And then, but even if you're not, we've got all kinds of offers. We're getting more land-based offers. And then on these short notice cruises, we would, you definitely qualify for those as well.
And I guess let me ask this: if somebody can't qualify for a completely free cruise, do you still get can you get them discounted rates on cruises, or it's really just fully comped is mostly what you do?
No, we can do some discounts.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the cruise line. Some of them give us like a whole rate table, and so we can kind of discount from it, and some just give us, hey, this is the minimum criteria, and they only offer comp. So it depends on the cruise line, but yeah, absolutely, there's opportunities for discounts.
And then, so
Okay.
oh, I was gonna say, so are there any specific loyalty programs or perks that you guys offer for like people that always use your services?
Yes, we recently launched club. Right now it's Club 25, Club 50, Club 100, and we're going to launch the next level up. And that's basically how many comp days a player has traveled with us. And so we've got, we send out kind of special swag, you know, like the lanyard, a pin, and a couple other things. And what's nice about that is that on the cruise line, because we send so much business, every host on every cruise ship is going to know about UrComp. And so when they wear that lanyard, they're recognized as somebody that is a frequent player, whether that's their first time on that cruise line or not, but they recognize, oh, that's a UrComp player that plays quite a bit. So that is that's right now our main loyalty program. We're always exploring new ideas because we love our loyal players. We have meetup cruises that our special events that the cruise line puts on for UrComp members. And we send a UrComp host out, and we have all kinds of special parties and additional like gear we give out. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff for our UrComp members.
That's fun.
All right, now you've been at this for a few years, and anyone who's in the casino business, Matt and I, we have interesting stories. I wanted to ask you if you had an interesting story, maybe about someone who won a big jackpot, or one of the highest rollers who had like a presidential suite or something. Is there one story in your mind that sticks out more than others that you'd like to share?
I shared I love that story about the guy that called us from Aruba to book a cruise.
That was a good one.
One other story, it's funny. This one of our frequent cruisers, his name's Michael. He's from Hawaii. And one time he took a photo, he hit a jackpot, and then he laid out all the $100 bills on his bed, and he wrote UrComp on his bed, and he took a photo and he posted in our Facebook group. And then it like sparked a trend where now every day almost we're getting new players that are uploading pictures of they call it the money bed challenge, where they're laying out like thanks UrComp, or they'll give a shout out to their host and they just spell it out in the bills. So I think that's a pretty fun trend we got going on right now.
Well, Dad, next time you go out, you'll have to do that. When you hit you'll have to put urcomp.com/gents just laid out in $100 bills on the. Well, with the way you gamble, it'll be laid out in $1 bills.
$1 bills. Yeah, that'll be better. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything here, Matt. Was there something else you wanted to add?
No, well, just Craig, if people want to know more about you and your company, where can they do that?
I'd just go to urcomp.com, do /gents, GENTS. And that way, when you sign up, just use promo code GENTS. Our website's pretty self-explanatory. You should have all the info there, but if you have questions after you sign up, we've got a team of hosts that can answer those questions for you. But no, I think you guys asked a lot of great questions, probably answer most of what players have. But again, I'd just say sign up, and we should be able to walk you through everything.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great.
All right. Well, Craig Shacklett, CEO of UrComp.com, thank you for joining us today. And let's get some of our viewers on some free cruises.
Let's go. Thank you, Jackpot Gents.
All right. Take care.